one aspect of the crypto adoption looks like this, and the other side looks like this one. So it's against dollar. So the fiat currency issues are becoming real issue in different nations, and investors are moving into cryptocurrencies. And along the same time, due to the reserve currency status and the sanction issue from United States and the dollar, they are actually ditching the dollar itself. And at this time, the adoption is increasing and the regulation is coming out. The correct regulations will make that difference.
In particular, central banks and financial authorities should pay special attention to two aspects. First, to the ties linking cryptocurrencies to real currencies, to ensure that the relationship is not parasitic. And second, to the level playing field principle.
So in the regulations, first is between the fiat currency and the cryptocurrency itself. They are eyeing that one. And the second one is the level playing field principle. Now that is cool, right? As the regulatory clarity around the world increases and the digital economy is being eyed, digital currencies and attention towards it is increasing. USA is also making efforts to engage in this area and emerge as a leader in this new technology race. And last week, another approach from the United States for virtual currencies kind of passed the Senate. Now, on Thursday, a bill that would begin feasibility studies to regulating crypto assets are being passed. Now that's actually a positive news in that particular territory. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value in the content, do support the channel, hit that like button. If you are new here, you can hit that subscribe button, and if you would like to extend your support to the channel, the research being executed here, you can look at the PayPal and the Patreon links in the description. Patreon will allow you to access more value for your time and your portfolio. Now, when all of this is happening, the adoption is increasing, the arrival of new investors are pushing one by one in different sites to accumulate. South Korea may start custody service before the end of 2020. That is a good news. This is already August, and before the end of 2020 means there is not much time left for huge investors to come in and buy and put their assets, digital assets, into banking custody. And that will be a key for the milestone of XRP. If that is a key milestone of the XRP, like last time in the last bull run, we saw XRP and how the Koreans were interested in this particular project. So as the saying goes, you want to make money. If you want to make money, you want to follow the money. So we always say that, right? In investment, and as an investor, you should be looking at fundamental changes from where the money is flowing to which direction, and you should be in that positive direction. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out on that particular aspect. Now, this tweet from ISO 20022 shows different data formats and protocols, highlighting general convergence around the ISO 20022 standards, which has been adopted by SWIFT, CIPS, SPFS, Ripple, and many others, including domestic payment networks, is kind of allowing them to go into this mode of interoperability. And look at that name. They are mentioning SWIFT, CIPS, SPFS, and Ripple, along with many others. So they are highlighting it for what? They are highlighting it for the critical component of interoperability. Now that is one of the key aspects which XRP Ledger and the Interledger protocol provides us. Now, when all of this is happening, we can see predictions coming out showcasing that Bitcoin is going to go parabolic. It's going to explode. And at the same time, when such a tide is near us, make sure you are riding this tide, because when huge boats like Bitcoin is rising with the tide, others will also be rising. And when people see that the percentage of gains are increasing, they will directly jump in and look at fundamentals afterwards. But the smart money would be accumulating, looking at the fundamental aspects of each project. Now, when we go into that particular article, what we can see here is First lip pump and then lip dump. He's kind of showing you that there is a possibility that the price may go to the upside and then dump to the downside instead. That's on a shorter time frame, but if you look at that thing on a longer time frame, it is showing you a trend to the upside. Now that is actually for Ethereum. He may eye that downward position towards that 350 mark and then move towards the upside. So that is actually a positive news there for Ethereum. And looking at XRP, the correction range shown there is little. It shows that the price may go down towards 0.3 and then surge around 0.7. Now if you saw previous 2 or 3 videos we have done here, after going through the technical analysis or the chart analysis, say we used a 3-day chart back then and illustrated that we already made this reversal candle, 3 reversal candle here. We broke the neckline. Now we are moving to the upside. Now on a daily chart, if you are looking at that particular area, you can understand we just went near that resistance area of here, and then we are kind of stuck at that area. Now the daily candle has not yet closed, so if you get a small red candle here for this particular day and the next day opens in green and ends in green, that is again a continuation pattern. Now when you get a continuation pattern here with a long wick and then a consolidation and another confirmation of a continuation of the pattern, that should be like a bull run. So if you didn't understand what I'm talking about, you can look at here, a green candle followed by a red candle, kind of a slow correction, and then a huge green candle. That kind of gives you the continuation symbol, and the price just continued to the upside, right? So we are looking at something similar here on that scale, which would take us directly towards the 0.7 resistance line. Now yes, first we would be having other resistance lines, overhead resistance like 0.5, now we will be reaching around 0.35, then 0.5, and then 0.7. So when an analyst suggests 0.7, it's not that too far, it's somewhere near. Now in our Patreon link, we went through a minute daily support and resistance area, and then the long-term, short-term support area, and what we can expect in the near time frame, say next 2 to 8 weeks or 3 to 4 months. That was actually discussed in the Patreon link. Those who are in that would have had that idea that we are reaching that particular area. And even 3 days back, when we used a 3-day chart and explained about a possibility that the price may start to push to the upside, there was kind of mixed opinion about that. Now yeah, I understand when not everyone understand it on a similar phase, right? Now getting back into the fundamental side, the global uncertainty which is associated with the fiat currencies is pushing the price of Bitcoin and XRP. Now this is coming from Ripple executive Ashish Birla. So they are not someone who doesn't actually understand money or the payments one side and currencies on the other side. So they have the idea of what is happening around the world, because this is a company which looks for next decade. They were not short term, they were not looking at the short term gains. Instead, they were always eyeing the long term. Now when they are mentioning this, they are also mentioning the OCC development, which is permitting the banks to custody digital assets like Bitcoin. Now when they say that, yes, we should keep in mind that we don't currently have that regulatory clarity in US. Now yes, recently in New York, we just got that idea that banks can custody XRP, and if they are looking at utility tokens, then they can use it for whatever utility they are looking at. If it's for payments, they can consider it as payments token. That being said, the words which Ashish used to illustrate that is, it's been a wild few weeks in crypto. OCC has green lighted banks to get involved. So one is the wild weeks and another one is a green light, which we were actually waiting in the crypto land for a long time. Now once we get this, that kind of gets a lot of attention in many different ways. Now there are other stuff which I actually wanted to show you guys, that is related to the coins which are mined in China. So this may not be interesting for many of you guys who don't care about these proof of work coins, or what we can share is like shit coins, the real shit coins. There was a rain now. Yes, the rain, storm, flood and everything is bad for human beings. I understand the devastation it creates, but this aspect should be considered. When a rainstorm hit China, it kind of went to 10 to 20% hash rate drop for Bitcoin mining pool. Now you'll have to actually check about Ethereum as well. So when we understand that these networks are 70% concentrated on one particular country, that too authoritarian nation like China, you'll have to keep that in mind that this is not going to end well. Now when they ditch dollar, yes, we can understand it should be okay for majority of the countries, but at the same time you also have to understand that there is one more side for this. Western countries, the advanced economies, would be siding with US. So when they do that, they know that the globalization has reached an area where commerce, life, everything is completely global. Now yes, due to the current crisis, we have limitations to travel, but once we open up, yeah, that may take a bit time, but once we open up, the global commerce is gonna kick off. And here the statement from Brad comes into play at that time. We make global commerce more efficient by making payments more efficient. Now, at the same time, I would actually like to take you guys through a PDF file here. Now, this particular publication highlights global crypto asset regulatory landscape study. Now, we'll actually read through that. Now, first, when we look at that particular publication, we can jump into the page number 5. So in the page number 5, in this particular document, what we have to understand is these are kind of experts in each area who are researching for this, right? So to what extent are crypto assets more from overfunction relative to traditional financial assets? Now, stakeholders operating in financial markets are beginning to realize that the adoption of crypto assets in volume is likely to have profound implications for both financial market infrastructure and relationship between market participants. So that is a key area. Now, at the same time, we have a negative force there. Consider ghost coming in, right? The stakes are high for both market participants and regulators. For some incumbent participants, it is raising existential questions and understandably provoking strong reactions aimed at preserving the status quo. So if you look at the payment system and the financial infrastructure, it is easy to understand Ripple is coming out with their own different types of products, including ILP, and Swift network is getting shattered. Now, when we say that, remember the quote from previous IMF chief Christine Lagarde stating, the disruptors are shaking the system, and that really is happening in around the world, right? So as we move on in that particular paragraph, we can reach here. Regulators are cognizant of these competing forces and are also aware of that there are new risks associated with crypto asset technological innovation that may result in unexpected consequences impacting financial stability. Now, one of that is what we just talked about here, looking at just a rainstorm. If this Bitcoin system is the financial system of the world, think if there is a flood in China, you may be affected. Just one country may take its 70% mining power to the bottom. Now, these kind of things has to be considered, and that's why you're looking at federated Byzantine system in majority of the government documents, right? And the corporate high-level documents as well. So our hope is that the global comparative analysis of crypto asset regulation will highlight convergent gaps in regulatory frameworks and enable individual regulators to benchmark their own regulatory approach in the context of global crypto asset regulatory landscape. Now, that being said, we can actually see guys coming out talking about regulations, making a level playing field. If you remember the term used, which is the level playing field, it's being highlighted in many different areas, right? So when we understand this and look at the price, say we'll just look at the weekly price for XRP and understand that we are really on to the upside. We are moving to the upside. Now, if you want to stay positive, use a Heikin-Ashi candle. It shows you the momentum. Now, if you are looking at the momentum on a weekly chart, you can understand that we are moving to the upside. And usually what happens is, like, if we are getting stuck at one area, either we may retrace back, get a bit of support and then pump to the upside, or if we are just starting to pump, then we may just burst through that area. See, we were kind of getting stuck here and then bursted through that area after a small correction. Now, if that is to happen, we may come back to around 0.27, 0.26 area and then bounce to the upside. But looking at the current status of the RSI, MACD and the price fluctuation, it is kind of bullish for XRP on a weekly. Now, if we just look at them on the, say, we just compare it with the general altcoin market cap, and we can understand how it is going to change. Right, so we'll just jump into a altcoin market cap chart and analyze it. So here on our altcoin market cap chart on a Heikin Ashi, we can see that the momentum is to the upside. As we talked, we can see there are small red candles, but again being pushed to the upside. So if you just delete all these and look here, we were coming to the upside, we were kind of being resisted at one particular area, small corrections, and then boom, to the upside. So similar thing can happen with XRP too. You just have to stay focused and stay put. Now, whenever these fluctuations like to the downside or to the upside is happening and coming closing, say the price went 30% up but closed the day with 15%, that is okay. Still it is 15% because you are not anyway aiming to take your profit at the 30%, are you? No, right? You will be waiting for 1000% earnings or 10,000% earnings. So that small fluctuations on a daily basis shouldn't actually bother you. Instead, you should be looking at the fundamental changes of the market trend and the news. Like you can see here in the previous market cycle, after getting a small momentum to the upside, a small correction, then a bit of staying there, and then boom. So this is coming. We are waiting for that. So guys, that's all for today, and if you saw value in the content, do hit that like button, and if you're new here, please do hit that subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support for the channel, you can use that Patreon and PayPal link in the description. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.